Hey everyone, how are you doing? It's Dave. It's number 103. Yes, yoga. Here we are. I'm just taking my watch off because I don't want to be concentrating too much on time. But we've got 45 minutes together here just to spend a little bit of time and I guess spend time with ourselves, aren't we? You know, we think of yoga as it's a great unifying practice, I think. You know, where we're paying attention to our breath and we're paying attention to our body, but we also see it as quite a solitary practice as well. But hopefully, you know, the benefits of it, when we spend time with ourselves and we start to pay attention, then we can like send that goodness out into the wider world. So hopefully we become a better version of ourselves by practicing yoga. It says a lot, doesn't it? Become a better person. You know, by practicing yoga. How does this all work, Dave? Well, it's just about being compassionate to yourself and just noticing where you are from moment to moment. And remember, yoga doesn't have to be about, you know, what it looks like. It's not about flexibility. It's not about, you know, strength. Yeah, sure. You know, all these things come into it, but I always think about the asana portion. The asanas are just the parts where, hold on 1 second. I've got somebody saying my screen is black. I can hear but not see anything. We can't see you. All right. Okay. I'm going to carry on talking. Everything looks good at my end, but I'm not sure. Let me just have a little. Can someone put in the comments bar whether they can see me or not? No one can see me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the studio. I'm going to come back in. Let's see if that works. All right, I'm back. Let's see if this is any better. All right, can someone put in the chat bar whether they can see me, whether you can hear me, and then we can take it from there, because I'm not 100% sure at the moment. Everything looks good at my end. The connection looks good. My router looks good, but I just need somebody just to put in the comments bar. Yes, we can see you. Yeah. All right, back in the room. Thank you. Sorry for that little technical hitch. Here's my router. I brought it a lot closer to me. All right, so I was just talking about, you know, paying attention. You were trying to pay attention. You couldn't even see me. And then becoming better versions of ourselves by practicing yoga, because we just draw that attention inwards. And all those little elements that we bring into yoga, which is about, you know, engagement, and it's about strength, and it's about flexibility, and it's about paying attention. And we were talking yesterday, someone was doing some video with us yesterday at Space to Breathe here, and one of the questions was, what's your favorite yoga pose? And do you know what most people said? They said just sitting, or just child's pose, something like that. So it wasn't like, oh, you know, I love to do crow or headstand, or I like to do 25,000 sun salutations. None of that stuff. It was just sitting, sukhasana, in easy pose, just cross-legged, and just being still. And we spend so much of our time, don't we, where we're kind of rushing around, and we're here and we're there, we're all over the place. And sometimes the stillness part of yoga is really beautiful. But we probably find that stuff the hardest bit. So we're going to try and do all of that stuff today. We'll move a fair amount. We will kind of like sit for a fair amount of time as well. But I'll make sure that we're not sitting for too long, and we'll kind of sit and then we'll come back. So what I would say at the start here, before we start the physical aspect of the class, is make sure you're comfortable. If you want to bring a blanket in, or a cushion, or a pillow, if you want to sit up against a wall, Do all those things, make sure you're comfortable. You don't have to sit in any way that feels, I guess, uncomfortable for you. And I'm just going to move back onto my mat. You can see there, I've got like one of these lovely little squishy blocks. But you can have a book or a blanket or whatever feels good for you. And I'm going to sit here with my legs crossed. You might do the same, you might not. It doesn't matter. You might be sat in a chair for this first part. Let's just spend a little bit of time in stillness. And as we spend time in stillness, what I'd like you to do is just be open to what arises. Yeah, it's kind of like very yogic, this stuff, isn't it? Be open to what arises. So somewhere comfortable for the hands. Maybe close your eyes. Draw your attention inwards. And you're sitting with that kind of like noble posture, like so the spine is long, shoulders are rolled back and nice and relaxed and broad. The head just balances perfectly on top of the spine. So you can draw a line from down in the hips all the way up to the crown of your head. And as you sit here at the start, just notice your breath and notice how your breath feels. Maybe just inhaling through the nose, exhaling through your nose. And I'll be quiet for 30 seconds. Let's just spend this time here together. And then on this final round of breath, take a nice deep, rich inhale through your nose. Full exhale through your mouth, just sigh out. And if your eyes are closed, just come with your eyes open. Nice. And just move a little bit here. So lean back into your hands. If you sat on something, maybe release it, just place it off to one side. If you put your back hip width apart, just drop your knees side to side. Just a little bit of movement into the body. And just being really curious, what did you feel then? What was the experience like? So we're not trying to judge anything, we're just noticing, and probably your mind was a little bit busy, Maybe you dropped into it, maybe it felt really peaceful. How did your breath feel? Was the breath kind of relaxed? Did it feel a little bit laboured? Did it feel a little bit choppy? There's no right and wrong here, you're just paying attention. Sometimes it takes us a little bit of time to get into our physical body, and sometimes the breath can, be tricky. So, don't judge it. We'll get there. It's all a practice. It's called a yoga practice, isn't it? It's not yoga expert. Nice. And then come all the way back to center. I'm going to come a little bit closer to you because I want to do something a little bit more specific with the breath. All right. So sit nice and tall again. Before we work with the breath again, bring your hands onto your knees. Just circle your torso around your hips. So you're just doing this movement. It's called Sufi grind. So inhale. Exhale. So inhale as you come forward, exhale as you round. And it might be that, you're just here and it's little movements and you're just breathing into the lower spine. Shoulders are relaxed. You just rotated your torso around your hips. Inhaling and exhaling as you go. And you can make the breath a little bit audible if that feels good. Nice. A couple more in this direction. Take an inhale, come back to center, and then just swap it out, come back the other way. Rotations of the torso over the hips or around the hips, and sending the breath deep into the spine, deep down into the hips. And we're thinking about the breath as, magic that opens the body up, that sends that nourishment into the parts of the body that need it. And I firmly believe that it's super good for us, this stuff, because you probably can't measure it. Everyone wants to measure stuff, don't they? But you can't probably measure this stuff. You can measure it by how good it makes you feel, or how open your body becomes, or how, I guess, energetically you feel. Nice. Inhale, come back to center. And then a full exhale. Hands onto the front shin, a little bit of spinal flex, a little bit of work into the spine here at the start. Inhale forward, exhale round. So you can see my head stays still. I'm not pulling on my hands. The movement's coming from my navel, and I'm inhaling and exhaling as I go. So inhale as the spine elongates, heart center lifts. Exhale as you round the spine. So the pelvis is kind of doing this sort of thing. It rotates forward, it rotates back. You don't have to go quickly. You can be really slow. Find a movement that works for you. Nice. Couple more. Inhale forward. And then exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Lean back into the hands again, and then maybe just drop the knees to either side. Really nice work. And then we'll do a little bit of twisting. So we're keeping moving here, aren't we? A lot of stuff done on the floor, but we're moving the body around, so hopefully you don't become too tight. What I'd like us to do a little bit later on in the class is to get a little bit more into some more challenging postures in terms of holding the poses for a little bit longer. But for now, come back with your legs crossed, and then let's come into a little twist. So inhale, sweeping your arms up. As you exhale, just twist over to the right. So your left hand comes onto the right knee, bring your right hand behind you, press into the fingers. So at this point, your spine is long, and then as you exhale, you just twist over towards the right. Deep inhales, full releasing exhales. Every inhale, you find length in your spine. Every exhale, you just come into the twist a little bit more, so you're never quite static. Take one more like that, nice deep inhale. Full releasing exhale. And then just come all the way back to center. Before we move to the other side, inhale, sweeping your arms up, let the palms touch. As you exhale, sweep the arms all the way back down. Just be curious about how that feels. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhale up, working with your breath, exhale down. Two more, inhale up, exhale down, stay nice and relaxed through the jaw. Here's the last one, inhale up, and exhale down. Nice. When your fingertips are on the floor, inhale up. As you exhale, twist over to the left. So the right hand, just place it on the right knee or inside, sorry, the left knee, and then, or inside the left thigh. Inhale to find length, you know where I'm going. Exhale, twisted over to the left. So deep inhales, full releasing exhales. Deep inhale, full exhale. Two more like that. Deep inhale, full exhale. Final time, deep inhale, full exhale. Inhale, come back to center, release the legs, this time bring them out in front, and then just give your legs a little tap out. Maybe just move them from side to side, give the feet a little wave, maybe roll into the ankles. We're not thinking too much about this stuff. Just gentle movements, gentle movements, warming up here. Just noticing what we need. All right, come back with the legs crossed, have a little move around. And then what I'd like us to do is breathe in and out through the right nostril, just for 10 rounds. So this is energizing. So we're going to block off the left nostril. You can use it with the right hand or the left hand. I'm going to use the right hand. I'm just going to block it off with my little finger or ring finger, maybe the ring finger. I'm going to tuck the other fingers in. And then from here, sit nice and tall. And then inhale through your right nostril. Exhale through your right nostril. So you got it. Inhale. Exhale. In your own way, in your own rhythm. do 3 more. And then just bring whatever hand you had lifted, the right or the left, down onto the knee. Just take a couple of balancing breaths, maybe keeping your eyes closed or just keeping your gaze super soft. Beautiful, really nice. And if you're not on your mat, come back onto your mat. I'm going to go back there now, and we're going to all meet on all fours. So take your time getting there. Really beautiful start. Hopefully feeling a little bit more enlivened, but it's gentle, isn't it? And it's quite subtle. So spread out through your fingers. Bring your knees about hip width apart, and then press your tops of your feet into your mat. From here, take an inhale, drop your belly down. Lift your head and your heart. So your spine is really long here, your head is lifted, you're gazing between the eyes or you're just gazing up. As you exhale, press into the hands, really gently round the spine. Inhale forward. Exhale round. There's your rhythm. Inhale forward. Exhale round. So it's like a wave-like motion. Match the movement with breath. Couple more. Inhale, come back to center. And then a full exhale. And then one more like that. Nice deep inhale. And a full exhale. Really nice one. Split the knees really wide, kind of on the edge of your mat. Bring your big toes together. I've got a bit of cramp in my foot. And then bring your sit bones back onto your heels or somewhere near. Remember, you can always bring a block down and place your head on the block or on a book, or you can use your hands and place your head on your hands, or your head's coming directly down onto the floor. Any movements here that feel good, maybe just move the hips side to side. But finding a child's pose that works for you. Taking deep, rich inhales and full releasing exhales. And just notice what happens to the body here. So I always think about child's pose as being really calming, but I can feel quite a significant stretch into my hips and into my lower spine. Breathing super deep. And just noticing and being very curious about what the breath is like. Beautiful, really nice. All right, from here, with the hands stretched out in front, press yourself back to all fours. Then take an opportunity just to stretch your legs out. So press into the right toes, lengthen out through the right leg. Take a little bit of all the pressure off that knee, off the right knee, and then just swap it out, come to the other side. Notice how that feels. Feel that delicious stretch into the legs, into the calves. I feel that quite strongly into the bottoms of the feet. And then come back to center. And we might do a couple of balances today. I don't know yet, but we're definitely going to do this one. So from here, take an inhale, just sweep out through your right leg. So we've already got a balance going on, haven't we? Because we've lifted one of our limbs. Press the toes down towards the floor. I always think about the foot as engagement. I'm thinking about pressing it into the wall behind me, if there was a wall there. So the leg is strong and it's not kind of hanging down like this. It's lengthened from the hip. And then if you wanted to, you can sweep your left arm forward. So you've got right leg and left arm. And you can gaze down to the top of your mat. You can look up. You can have a little play around if you want with the head. But if you feel a little bit wobbly, just gaze at one spot. Take a deep inhale. Full exhale. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. And then bring everything down onto the back. Have a little play around, maybe just do some hip circles, they can feel nice, or just bring the hips from side to side. And then we'll come to the other side. So spread out through the fingers. Spread out through the left toes as you lift that back leg. And you might want to have a little look, want to see what's going on. Movement's okay, it's all good. You might sweep the right arm forward. You find that engagement. So I'm thinking about my navel here. This is where my concentration is. It's here, and then my gaze point is here to the top of my mat. And once I find that balance, then I can kind of look around a little bit. Think about stretching out through the right arm, stretching out through the left leg. Taking one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring everything back down onto your mat. Beautiful. And then this time, just tuck your toes under and press into your toes. And then we'll just move through a few rounds of cat-cow. So it's adaptive cat-cow with the toes tucked under, just to stretch into the toes themselves. So inhale and exhale, round the spine. Inhale, scoop the belly forward, arch the spine. Exhale, press into the hands around the spine. Couple more rounds. Final one. Beautiful. And then untuck the toes, bring them back down onto the floor. And then we're going to come into downward facing dog for the first time. So remember, if down dog's not for you today, that's all good. You can just come into child's pose. Lift the hips if you're coming into downward facing dog. And then spread out through the fingers and then bend deeply into the knees. You know, find that length in your spine. See how much length I can get in my spine when my knees are bent here. I'm not thinking about my heels coming down onto the floor. I'm not bothered about that. I'm just thinking about length in my spine. And then the head is loose. And if you find your gaze in between your feet, then you're about right with the neck. Maybe shake it yes and no. We'll do a little bit of work into the neck in a moment. But for now, just gentle movements. You can kind of go up and down, side to side. Beautiful, nice. And then what we'll do is we'll bend really deeply into the knees. And then as you exhale, just lengthen the legs out. But keep a little bend as you lengthen. Nice, and then just move like that. Bend the knees, lengthen the legs. Match the movement with breath. You can do it on an inhale or an exhale, it doesn't matter. As long as there's an inhale and exhale on either movement. Just moving it out. Beautiful. Nice work. From here, see if you can walk the hands back towards your feet, press into the palms, maybe then onto the fingertips. And then a nice big generous bend in your knees, and then just hang low, sway from side to side. Let the head be nice and loose. And then when you're ready, press into the feet and just roll all the way up. Come up to stand. Notice how your feet feel as you do that. Press into all four corners of your feet. And then you will find yourself standing for the first time. And then we just walk to the top of our mats. Do that really gently. You might kind of sway around a little bit. Maybe move the arms, whatever you need to do. Maybe stretch the arms above the head. And then we'll find ourselves in mountain posture. Tadasana. Palms face forward. Nice. Gaze is just down towards the floor, your eyes are closed. Take a couple more rounds of breath here. Nice. And then from here, take an inhale, sweep your arms up. As you exhale, just comb the hands down nice and slowly. When you inhale, legs come up halfway. Maybe bring the hands up nice and high. As you exhale, fold in deep, press into your feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, hands to heart center. So it's like a quarter sun salutation, just moving with your breath. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So just getting used to working with your breath here. Every movement has a breath. Inhaling up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold in nice and deep. Press into the feet. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up. Maybe look up to the palms. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're just going to carry on like this for a little bit longer. Inhaling up. Exhale, fold in deep. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. So energizing. It's nice, simple movements. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in deep. Press into the feet. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Hands to heart center. Inhaling up. Exhale, fold in deep. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in. Press into the feet. Inhale up. And exhale, hands to heart center. We've got 3 more to do. Really great work. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold in deep. Come up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Hopefully feeling the heart beating away now. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Here's the final one. Really enjoy it. Inhale up, expand. Exhale, fold in deep, contract. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, folding in at the waist. Press into the feet. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Then just breathe here. Keep the hands at heart center. Maybe close your eyes. And then just notice the effects of your practice. See how that feels. Really beautiful work. Fantastic. And then what I'd like you to do is come maybe a little bit more in the center of your mats, or give yourself enough room here. We're going to do this breath. It's called breath of joy. I do like this one. It's good fun. The only thing to do or to remember is to make sure that you have a nice bent knee. Excuse me, my email keeps bonging away, doesn't it? So let me just turn that off. All right. So yeah, this is what I'd like you to do. Have your feet back hip width apart. So you're kind of here. You can have a little shake. And then we're going to do this breath. So I'd say the only thing that you really want to worry about is here, your lower back and hamstrings. But you're thinking about kind of like really protecting this. So this might be a very energetic movement for you, or it might be quite chilled out. Okay. So I always keep this bend in my knees. Then I'm pressing down into the feet. And I'll show you what the breath looks like. You inhale through the nose, the arms come up. You exhale through the nose, the arms come down. You inhale through the nose, the arms come up. You exhale through the mouth, you split the arms down. That's the one where you need to think about the back. Okay, so let me do 2 rounds and then you can jump in with me. All right, you'll get used to it. So inhale nose, exhale arms, inhale nose, exhale down. Mouth, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. That's all nose. This is mouth. Get into it. When you're exhaling, really think about releasing any stuckness, anything that's kind of trapped within the body, that emotional or physical residue. Have a bit of fun with it. Don't overthink it. As you exhale any negativity. As you inhale life, positivity. Three more. Final one. Inhale up. Exhale, float the arms all the way down. Nice and slowly, beautiful. Bring the hands so they're down by the hips. Maybe close your eyes. Most important thing here is to breathe, 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 breathe. Let everything come back to a nice steady rhythm. And then maybe place your left hand on your heart, right hand on your belly. Breathe into the hand, breathe into the heart. I can feel my heart beating away. So this is all about energy, isn't it? Energy, energy, energy. We just create this kind of detoxifying energy ourselves. We get stronger, we get more flexible. Maybe our spirit enlivens somewhat. Nice. And then bring the hands down, and then we'll come back to a seated position. Really beautiful work, everyone. I'm going to come a little bit closer to you guys. So far, so good. All right, make sure you're comfortable. Maybe sit on something, like I'm doing, and then come into cross-legged position. All right, a little bit of movement through the neck I'd like us to do. So inhale the head to the left. Exhale your head to the right. Maybe with the eyes closed. And then check in with your jaw. Make sure your jaw is really relaxed. Inhale left. Exhale right. There's your movement. A couple more times either side. And inhale, come all the way back to center. And a full exhale. Beautiful, really nice. Bring your fingertips just down onto the floor and then press into each of the tips of your fingers and then see if you can find a little bit more length in your spine. And the fingertips are just beginning to support you. And then just be very curious here. As you close your eyes, notice where you feel the sensation. Maybe it's just right at the fingertips. Maybe you feel it in the forearms. Maybe you feel that soft engagement through the shoulders. Just coming back to that idea of curiosity. And notice what you're noticing here. Nice. Really beautiful. All right. So we've already done quite a few seated cat-cows. Cat-cows when we've been down on all fours. Let's do them seated. So this time we'll bring our hands onto our knees. Inhale the chest up and then exhale round the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So you just find a movement and a motion that works for you. Nice. Two more. Inhale, come back to center. And a full exhale. Beautiful. And then see if you can do this. Bring your hands so they come onto your shoulders. And you've got your fingertips at the front and then your thumbs at the back. If this feels too much, then you can be here in kind of cactus hands or cactus arms, whatever feels good for you. So you're going to inhale to center. You're going to exhale down to the side. So it's a lateral stretch. Inhale center. Exhale to the other side. Working with your breath. Inhale here, exhale to the side. Couple more. Inhale to center. And exhale, bring the hands down. Beautiful. And if you're sat on something, remove it. And bring the legs out in front again. Give them a little movement from side to side, dropping the legs down. And then I'm going to come back onto my mat. I'll join all you guys there. I'm just going to move that out of the way. And we're going to lie on our backs for this final part of the class. So this is always a very nice part of the class for me. When I bring my spine down on the floor and I hug my knees in towards my belly, always feels really relaxing. I'm thinking about my shoulder blades. We're not going to do a huge amount more here. So maybe just keep the knees together just for a moment and circle the knees around. Just guide the knees with the hands. And you just feel the hips circle. We're going to spend a little bit longer here in Shavasana today. But before that, what I'd like you to do is bring the soles of the feet down onto the floor. And then see if you can just bring your fingertips down to touch your ankles and then press your hands down just so the palms are down by your feet or in between your feet and your hips. And you'll just move into bridge pose just for a few breaths. So engage your feet, really feel the four corners. And then as you inhale, begin to roll up through your spine, bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra. Just do that really slowly and gently. And then eventually you feel the spine lift right up and then squeeze the knees a little bit together. Not so they're touching, you've got about, like a football width gap between the knees, but there's a slight internal rotation, so it's like you're squeezing the ball together. So you engage the inner, the outer thighs. You feel all four corners of the feet. Then as you exhale, you're going to roll all the way down your spine, bone by bone, vertebra by vertebra. And when your spine is really flat on the floor, walk your feet wider, so you just walk them out, let your knees touch, and then bring your palms so they face up. Keeping your eyes closed and the gaze soft, just enjoy this sensation of relaxation. And then from here, separate your knees and then bring your soles of your feet together. So now we're going to come into reclined butterfly pose. So the feet are just going to stay connected, and the knees are going to naturally fall open. And you'll feel this here in the hips. And then see if you can sweep your arms open, stretch them out, maybe keeping the hands clasped together or separating the hands. Oh, excuse me. And how big yawn like me. Sometimes lying on our backs kind of really taps into the parasympathetic nervous system. So this idea of getting into the left side of the brain and resting more, less doing, more resting. And we're here just for a little bit longer, just to allow the hips and the spine to take the stretch and totally relax. Take one more complete round of breath. And then when you're ready, slowly sweep the hands all the way back up. And then hug your knees in towards the chest. You might want to lift your head off the floor, have a little roll from side to side. Nice. And then if you want to put on some extra socks or grab a blanket or an extra top, feel free to do that. Set yourself up in Shavasana just for a little while. Bring your palms to the face up. Remember, if this doesn't feel comfortable, you can either sit or you can bend the knees again, or just simply find a position that's more, suitable for you, more realistic. Maybe you want to come into child's pose as your final posture. Just these final moments of relaxation. And then from here, just take 2 more nourishing rounds of breath. Maybe exhale through the mouth as you do that. Like let out an audible sigh, maybe. And then one final time of hugging your knees back in towards your belly. And then just rocking on the spine, just a little bit from side to side, waking the hips up. And then just rolling over to one side, nice and simple. Roll over, nice, and push yourself back up. And then we'll find ourselves back in this seated position. Or any alternative, remember, you don't have to do exactly what I do. Nice, beautiful. Let's bring our left hand onto our heart and our right hand onto our belly. Close your eyes if it feels safe. Feel that deep connection to yourself and just appreciate yourself. It's the most important thing. Notice the effort that it took to get onto your mat today and to practice. Notice the effects of your practice. Every time you get onto your mat, you get an opportunity to check in with yourself. Remember, there's no right and there's no wrong, but when we begin to pay attention, we can sometimes catch when we're going down those rabbit holes. When you're ready, just bring your hands to heart center. Press your thumbs very lightly into your sternum. With a wholehearted bow. Wish yourself well, wish everybody else well. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming today. I do apologize about the start. It didn't last long, though, did it? And you could hear me. Then I disappeared and I came back. Yeah. I hope it was a decent session for you. I will be back next week. I'd like to do a little bit of mantra next week with you. So mantra is where we project and we use our voice. And the nice thing about the Virtual Village or Royal Voluntary Service is that you can do that in the safety of your own home. Sometimes when we're around other people, sometimes we feel shamed by our voices. Maybe that's something that was from an early age, or you kind of consider yourself that you don't have a good voice. That stuff's not important either. So there's some really nice dynamic meditations we can do by projecting our voice, and it's not like full on singing, it's mantra, but there's something about the vibrations of mantra and when we use the breath in a certain way that can be really energizing. And this breath meditation that I'd like to do next week is a healing meditation, so it's for yourself and it's for other people. So yes, that would be good. Thank you so much, Janet, for your kind comments. I'm glad that you're feeling better. Lisa, you want to do some mantra? Great. Sometimes a little bit nervous about it because some people think it's a bit odd, but I think it's a beautiful way to project. And I think it's something that when we have that stuckness, when we were just moving the arms and you move in the breath, it's a really lovely way to kind of get rid of that stuckness. So let's have a look at some mantra over the next few weeks. And we can just be really curious about it and have a little fun with it. So yeah. Thank you, guys. I really look forward to next week because of that. And I'll make sure that I'm nice and prepared with a couple of mantras, which we'll do next week. All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. I'm off to the Lake District this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing lovely Cumbria. And yeah, hopefully it'll be interesting next week. All right, everyone. Look after yourselves. Namaste, Sat Nam. Thank you. Bye now.